Good afternoon, Algebra 2 people. We are starting with today's lesson. Don't forget, hit like, subscribe, at the bell. I'm recording, by the way. That's why I'm talking like this, and I have the headset on. Okay, so we're starting today's lesson. Okay, parent functions. Now, very few times do I actually ask you to graph on paper in my classes, and the reason why is because even on the AP Calculus exam you don't have to graph on paper, but for those that will be taking the ACT in the spring, you have to know what the graph looks like, so we do a lot of characteristics from that. Now, what we have here, we have a constant that's just horizontal line. You might want to write that down. Alright, linear. You've had linear stuff since, I don't know, probably 6th grade. Though if you ask some of the people that I had last year, nobody taught math ever until I got here, so it doesn't matter. So, linear, that's what it looks like. Absolute value. What is a key thing that makes that this absolute value graph looks like? Yeah, everybody had lots to say about what Powder Puff is going to look like, but we can't say what a single letter looks like. All right, great. This is going to be fantastic. Now, our absolute value, that's what the original one looks like. That's like your base value, your very basic, no extra bells, whistles, nothing done to it. Okay, same thing with a quadratic. Now let's see if y'all can get this one. This one's kind of difficult. Yeah! Okay. Now, some people even say it's a smiley face. Okay, but it depends on who you are. Now, because math loves to be confusing, because, hey, you know what? Let's just do this, because we had all these people in different parts of, actually couldn't be that far away. They could be actually a village right here where Rogersville is, a village over there where Elgin is, and they would never talk to each other, and they could be doing the same things but call them different names. Okay, so that's why we hear all this other kind of crazy stuff, this, that, and the other. All right, now, I will tell you this. Whatever we cover with these A, H's, and K's now is what we will cover with these A, H's, and K's all year long. Okay? Because there's these three functions that we're going to look at. We're going to look at logarithms. We're going to look at exponentials. We're going to look at square roots. All this crazy stuff. And this is what it is. Now, you'll see that each one of these, they start with the letter A. Okay? These are the ones that changes. Okay? Okay. Jokes are bad. Okay. Are y'all with me? Are y'all awake? Y'all are asleep? Y'all are still trying to figure out why I look like, the Radio Shack version of somebody trying to play video games online or something? Okay. Now, so here's the thing right here. This H, this is super important. It's the opposite of what is written. Why is it like that? I don't know. Okay? They didn't allow us to have math history. Believe it or not, there used to be a class that we could offer in high school called math history, where you actually learned about the history of certain parts of mathematics. Okay? It's kind of interesting. Now, only thing I can think about it this way is that, again, most of the places where this was founded did not speak English. That English was not a language anywhere near there. Also, their main source of medicine for headaches, toothaches, tummy aches, anything was opium. And opium we know makes opioids, your morphine, heroin, stuff like that. So yeah, basically there was nothing to do. They'd wake up, feed the goats, and then they go and they would take opium and do math. So that's if it makes you think of why is it confusing, there we go. Now, and here we have our letter K. Now, all this is here. You're probably, again, sitting, a lot of the times you'll be like, why are we doing this? Trust me, there's a reason why. Just wait, okay? It's going to get better. So, here's the deal. All right, so our A value. This A value, it changes it left, right, up, and down. The easiest one that we know is that when it's negative, this is negative, it flips, okay? Now, your words, look, I'm going to write the math rule. The other thing is whatever you need to do to understand it, okay? If you need to come back and fill this in later, that's awesome, because I'm not you, okay? Now, we also need to know this. When the absolute value of A is greater than 1, this stretches. Okay? It stretches it vertically. Okay? So you could actually put, vertical stretch. Alright? Like, y'all's little squishy things that everybody's got to have, like your, the stick of butter thing it cracks me up more than anything. But if you have your little stick of butter thing and you do it out, you're actually changing that A value of that little stick of butter. All right. And then if A is between 0 and 1, this is a vertical shrink. All right. It's kind of like, let's see, on Despicable Me, where they have the shrink. They're going to steal the moon, and they have to shrink the moon. Okay? That's basically what's going on. Alright, I'm going to pause briefly with it. Alright, so our H value, okay, our H value, if it's positive, now this is the value, not as written, okay? I don't know why it is. I mean, it's when the actual value, it goes to the right. Cha-cha, real slow. What about when the actual value is negative? What goes to left? Come in.
I'm sorry, Lonnie. I just want to check the trash.
Okay. All right. And let's see. I don't know why that bracket's right there. All right, our K value. Wait. So, wait. If this goes right and left, why do you think we're using an H? Horizontal. Very good. All right. K. When it's positive, it goes up. Guess what? Yeah. Now here's the thing. Here's the rules. Okay? And we're actually going to put them into practice. So you have, all you know right now is that A does this, H is this, K is this. That's all you know, right? And I'm going to show you about why this works that way. All right? We all good? Anybody need more time? Anybody need some tissues because you're already starting to cry thinking, you thought this was the easy class? Bless you. Who needs tissues? Okay. Well, you can get them. Now, so, it says, in the problems below, A, state the parent function. All right, the parent functions are linear, quadratic, and are absolute value. All right, so let's look at this one. Do we have any absolute value signs? No. Do we have anything being raised to the second power? No. So this one is a linear. Okay, and this kind of looks like so. X plus K. All right. Now, linear only has two letters. It has an A and a K. All right. If A is understood to be 1, okay, I know, because math makes all that much sense. If you just have a letter, there's an invisible 1 right there, right? Makes total sense. Now when you're like, oh yeah, they did drugs. Now it kind of makes sense, okay? And I like to remind you that drugs are bad. Now, so when A is 1, we don't have a rule for that, so we just leave it alone. All right? Now, this is our K value. Our K value is positive 2. All right? Now, the transformation. Basically, what we're saying now is what is being done. So it was positive, K was positive, so that means it does what? Which direction? Up 2. All right. Now, I know some of y'all are like, what does that mean? Watch. Okay. If, bear with me. Like teddy bear with me. All right. So. All right. Our parent function for a linear is this. Okay. Right. We had that earlier. All right. Stop. Good. What did we just have? It said h of x, right? H parenthesis x equals, and then it had x, and then what? Plus 2. Ha! It literally is that red line just shifted up 2. Okay? All this stuff is the cha-cha slide of mathematics. Okay? I know some of y'all are like, that's kind of silly. At the end of the lesson, you'll be like, holy crap, he's right. Okay? And why are people like me excited about songs like the Cha-Cha Slide? Because it tells people how to dance. The Cha-Cha Slide, all that kind of stuff, the Cupid Shuffle, it's all for people who don't know how to dance. Mainly of the Caucasian persuasion, because we have no rhythm. Okay? So, but this is all we're saying this is now this. Okay? Break it down now, y'all. Alright. So let's look at number 2. Number 2. Now, this one's not linear. This actually has a little something. Yeah, this right here. This tells us that this is quadratic. Okay? That's our big indicator. It doesn't matter if there's parentheses or no parentheses. Something has to be raised to the second power. All right. Now, what is this number right here? This is where A would be. What is that number? 1. Okay, good. It's 1. Please don't say 0. Okay, I'll shave your eyebrows if you say 0. Just kidding. I really wish I could. All right. Now, this one. All right. This has a H. All right. Remember, the value is opposite of what's written. So if it's written as a negative, What is the opposite of negative? Positive. So it's a positive 1. Wait, I'm hearing people answer. What? It goes where? To the right 1. Would y'all like to see how that graph works? Sure. Somebody said sure. A lot of people said no. For all those that said no, losers. All right. So this second. Now this one is x. All right. So the red one is the original. The blue one is the new one. I made a rhyme. Pick up my mixtape on SoundCloud. Now, it just shifted over to the right. That's all it does. Okay? So, now, all right, process of elimination. We only have 3 to choose from. Okay? If we only have 3 to choose from, it's not linear, it's not quadratic. This has to be what? Absolute value. And you can write it like this. Now, this is our first one that actually has this letter. Okay? Remember, they kind of go in alphabetical order. So, this is our A value. All right, what is that value? 2, okay? Is it bigger than 1? Okay, so what do we have when the absolute value of the A value, which is the positive version, okay, is bigger than 1? What does it do? Stretch. So we have a stretch of 2. Okay, like I kind of wish I could have a stretch of 2. That way, I could finally break 6 foot. Okay, nobody. Okay, awesome. So, yuck, yuck, yuck. Now. All right, here's our original, okay? We see that it intercepts right here, at 2, 2. And we can, break it on down more. Let's zoom it on in. All right, so it's right here. There's negative 1, 1. Okay, so on this one, whoops, too many 2s. So now when it's at 1, fat fingers. Instead of it being like 1, 1, now it's 1, and we stretched it 2. Okay, I know. There we go. Yeah, that's more better. Okay, so you literally, it's like a rubber band, man. You just stretch it vertically. All right. It could be worse. I could be making y'all, graph all these. Yeah, that would be awesome. I know. Just all right. So, a vertical stretch and a horizontal shrink. Kind of think about it this way. We have this one right here, okay? We stretched it by 2. It also made it kind of skinnier, okay? Kind of like, if you look at some kids when developmentally they get kind of, a little chummy, especially, the little babies, the ones that's little arms had the little fat roll in it. Y'all ever seen that? Babies got, it's so funny. Okay, they look cute, but all of a sudden they start getting taller. Okay, and when they do that, their body kind of stretches out too, and it shrinks vertically. I'm still waiting on my growth spurt. Maybe I would shrink. Okay, nobody. All right, wow. I'm laying down gold, and y'all aren't saying anything. I hate everybody. Now, so it says when we do this, we multiply the A value by 3. So what is our A value right here? 1. Okay? So it says 1/3, so we actually were using that bottom number. That's where that came from. Okay. All right, tough math question. I have calculators. Don't remove your shoes to do this, okay? No letting the dogs out. What is 3 times 1? 3. So now we have this. Wait, let's not do that. Let's do this. There we go. So 3 x minus 3 minus 5. That's all we did. We just changed that. So if we stretched it vertically, we also made it shrink horizontally. I know that some people, they're like, you're throwing lots of, directions at us, and that's okay. All right. That's why we have notes one day and we have practice the next day. Okay, because somewhere in between, Fortnite, Get Ready With Me's, and all this other stuff that y'all have outside of school, it's actually in there and it's kind of like marinating. Okay. A reflection about the x-axis. That means, it kind of spins around. Whoop, whoop. Okay. We multiply the h value by -1. So, if our h value, was 3, what is -1 times 3? I heard it somewhere. -3. Yeah, I'm not going to make fun of you for actually answering a question. Okay, now if I said, what's 1 times -3, and you're like, potato, yeah, you're probably going to get made fun of. Okay, but now here's the deal. This is already written as a negative, correct? Okay, now you can watch. You don't have to write this down explicitly unless you need to. I'm plugging back in a negative. Who remembers the rules for minus a negative? I'm hearing it. What? Yeah. So this now becomes now, on these problems where we're just dealing with very small things like this, I like to have, I'll do it in that color. That's why, the one at the top, it was, our A value, I do A's in red, H values are in green. And the main reason it's like that is because years ago when I was starting to teach this, the colors I had on my smart board were red, green, and blue in that color, in that order. So that's what I used. Okay? Wow. Deep thoughts with Mr. Jeffries. All right. We just did that one. Did I accidentally copy that down twice? Yep. Okay, watch this. Whoop. And now I didn't make a mistake. All right. A reflection about the x-axis. Look, again, you don't have to say, don't be sitting here thinking, what is this reflection? All right. The problems you're going to have are going to look like this. It's going to say, if this is reflected about the y-axis, you're going to do this. That's it. Okay? No big whoop. All right, it says you multiply the A and K value by -1. So what is our A value right here? 1. What is -1 times 1? -1. Okay, so you can actually write -1 as your A value right there. I'm not going to eat your face off if you have to write a -1 right there. For 2 reasons. 1, that's gross, and 2, my cholesterol's high and teenagers are greasy, okay? So, Ouch. Yes.
On the front, where it says linear, absolute value, and quadratic, is that the formulas?
That is our parent functions, yes. Okay. All right. Now, what is our k value right here? -5. What is -5 times -1? +5. Now, I have it written down twice because it could be what is written on that line or the one below it. Okay? The one below it is what you would probably see on the ACT or some type of standardized testing. Okay? Which I always hate that we have to do standardized testing because I don't teach standardized kits. All y'all are special in your own individual way. Somebody's like, my mom says I'm special. So, somebody's like, yeah, your mom does say I'm special. Now, anyways. Alright. This one's really hard. This one's really difficult, okay? So it says if we're moving horizontally, we got to add to the h value to go right and subtract to go left. Okay, so you okay? All right, so our h value right here is, let's see, the opposite of -3, which is +3. All right, so if we're moving 6 to the right, okay, again, please do not take off your shoes. There are calculators if needed, but what is 3 plus 6? 9. I probably should do this. All right. So, we're going 2 units to the left. Okay, again, this is very difficult. Okay, so look, I have a good visual representation, so if you want to turn and look this way, I'll show you. If I have 3 fingers and I cut 2 of them off, how many fingers do I have? 1. Some of y'all are like, we're cutting off fingers? No. This is actually your lesson. This is actually Algebra 2 stuff. It doesn't sound like it because all we're doing is multiply, add, and subtracting. A lot of that is true. Just wait till we get to matrices. That's actually how I taught my son how to do his multiplication tables. Okay? I had an 8-year-old doing the Algebra 2. Now, not because, or wait, he was younger, but not because it's just that easy once you know the process. Okay? All right. So, oh no, this time we're going up and down, touch the ground. That's the Pooh Bear thing. All right, so what is our k value? -5. All right, and we're adding to go up. So what is -5 plus 8? Plus 3. Now, I know some of y'all are like, I'm not good at adding and subtracting, negatives. That's fine. That's why we have calculators. Now, I will make fun of you for not using a calculator. All right. So, -5. -5 minus 1 is -6. And what's funnier than 24? I heard it somewhere. 25. All right. So, that should be the end of our lesson, correct? No, I mean, is there any more on the paper? No? Okay, so we're done, right? Okay, so I said that should be the end of the lesson. Somebody's like, no, we got more. Okay, no, we're done. That's actually it for today. Now, this day, hey, whoop, kind of easy because first day getting into it. Tomorrow we'll have practice on this. All right. For those watching around the world, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the bell. Good stuff, good things. Roll Tide.